Honourable van Rooyen.
Re leboge Motlatsa Musa Khotla as MK under the outstanding leadership of our highly recognized President Zuma. We are extremely grateful for the opportunity granted to us by millions of voters to represent them in legislative platforms of this country, both in parliament and provincial legislatures. I must indicate, Deputy Speaker, that when I'm referring to the voters, I'm here referring to those of the votes who were officially declared, but also those of the rigged votes. It is of essence, Deputy Speaker, to note that the masses of our people can't wait for an opportunity to extend the mandate that they've given to us to municipalities. We want to assure them that as MK MPs collective, we have landed on the beachhead, working with other progressive forces under the banner of Progressive Caucus to unleash its arsenal for the realization of their real freedom. Happy birthday in advance to the economic freedom fighters. Deputy Speaker, our understanding is that budget process is an axis of any development agenda. Allocating money from National Revenue Fund is practically an indispensable process for the functionality of government. Governments execute their mandates on the basis of what has been generated as revenue by governments. This is a real fact, not fiction, nor any form of illusionary imagination. No money, no execution of government mandate as promised to the electorate. In our situation, Deputy Speaker, where the annual average cost of household food baskets is above 500,000, far higher than national minimum wage of general workers, which is close to 4,000 in real terms. Where social grants are the second most important source of income for households at 23.5% or more. Where above 7.5 million people experience hunger on daily basis.
Honourable Member,
where only 3 out
Honourable
of 10.
Van Rooyen, please take the chair. Please take the chair. Members, the noise is unacceptable. I cannot hear the speaker. I know that you are allowed to heckle, but please do it in such a way that you do not keep the speaker from being audible. Thank you. Honourable Van Rooyen, please proceed.
Where above 7.5 million people experience hunger on daily basis, where only 3 out of 10 of the poorest children attend early childhood development centers, compared to 8 out of 10 from richest households, where revenue generating opportunity is missed by only checking 2% of containers entering our Richards Bay port of entry. Hence proliferation of untaxed illicit goods and drugs in our country. Where, Deputy Speaker, one of the 9 provinces is technically in recession and our people die of hunger. Eastern Cape is currently changing from a province of legends to a province of hunger and miseries. Deputy Speaker, that's Eastern Cape for you. Deputy Speaker, where 4.7 million young people are unemployed. Indeed, our situation is dire and requires radical interventions. not the liberal and wide capital-friendly programs allocated for in this bill. It can be business as usual. Those who voted for us deserve better and are tired of being told of market stability and rating agencies' reaction when radical interventions are mooted for their development. As MK Party, we have heard their cry when they declared that they are not interested in market stability that failed for 30 years to resolve their unemployment, poverty, and living status. Deputy Speaker, the South African economy remains extremely concentrated in the hands of few white owners. This is in terms of market share and wealth, with a high level of financial institutions monopoly. Therefore, structural economic transformation, rather than the fiscal consolidation, is required to steer the economy onto a new economical just path. It is our collective submission as Lirumulas Chaba that the budget should and can be used to contribute towards achieving inclusive growth and fiscal sustainability by directing more resources towards struggling poor households, public services, and infrastructure development in pursuit of a demand-led growth. As expected, Deputy Speaker, the popular reaction from white supremacists and their praise singers to this novel call will be, where is the money? This was confirmed by the head of state yesterday in his response to the presidency budget vote. Deputy Speaker, our beloved country, South Africa, is a country of plenty, with a plethora of mineral endowments for its indigenous people to be poor. Instead of doing a spanner boy job of Tatala Begale for white capital, MK expects the president and his executive to be leaders of a developmental state that lead pro-poor interventions meant to give the masses of our people the real freedom that their forebears fought for and sacrificed for. Those who voted for us say nationalize Reserve Bank and tamper with its inflation targeting policy because it's causing hardships to households and impeding the much-needed economic development. Nationalize the land and major financial institutions in order to be the custodian of credit issuance and the country's finances. As much as MK Party agrees that Parliament is another terrain of struggle, our people must also know that it takes more than us as their representatives to hold this GNU government accountable. Their activism as society is needed now than before. We also urge patriotic South Africans to use all public participation processes, Izimbizo's, sector engagements, and others to ask this simple question: why President Ramaphosa-led administration opted for an unreliable, expensive source of energy at the expense of natural inherited resources, coal? It is because, in practical terms, we know that Eskom Renewable, or IPPs, is the single biggest increasing contingent liability. It is important to note that despite the hullabaloo about fighting corruption and New Dawn now Weaver beds, all the renewable projects, including those that are operated by the sitting president relatives, are guaranteed by the state. Now the danger is, Honorable Deputy Speaker, failure of this unreliable IPP's option will result into what we call an allocative inefficiency that will trigger a massive expenditure gap that will create generational debt burden to our future generations. We must do it for our country. We must do it for future generations. Deputy Speaker, this appropriation bill missed the target. It doesn't deserve MKP vote. And I submit. Thank you very much.